I did actually pre-warn her. I've said to her she's not going to listen to me. But I said, do not say anything triggering. That will not be there for a week.
Yeah, so for those of you that... Hey, yeah, well, for those of you that didn't watch our live at the start of the week, last week, wasn't it? Yeah. It actually got deleted because I was talking... I must have mentioned something a little bit too controversial for Instagram.
Yeah, I think it was 20 minutes after we had started, it had been removed.
Yeah. So, all right, hang on 1 second. Come on.
Hi, baby.
Go show the boys. Go get the boys to help you here. 1 sec.
Okay,
sorry, everyone.
So let's get started.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know you, please just give us a short run through of who you are and how you started the Natural Balance and Co.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Ash, or Ashley, for, whichever one you feel you like. I am a kinesiologist amongst a bunch of other things, but and I started late last year. I started my kinesiology business, the Natural Balance Co. What kind of led me to that was pretty much spending my entire life really, really unwell. So I'll give you a bit of like a backstory of some of the things that I've experienced, which kind of all led me to, kinesiology. So growing up, I experienced quite a lot of bullying, both physically and emotionally, all throughout primary school and high school. I experienced violence within my family unit too, and emotional abuse as well. There was a lot of drug and alcohol abuse growing up. I had really low self-worth. I really felt like I didn't have a lot to offer. So at the time, sex was kind of my thing. So that was what I kind of gave out willy-nilly to anyone that would take it. Yeah, that was like really what I had to use at that, like in those teen years of my life. So I used that as a means to make myself feel good. I know better now, but and then
wrong with it.
now I'm kind of like, I don't give a fuck, but how I was going about it was really, really wrong, and I was doing it for the wrong reasons. So and then I've been through anxiety and depression. I still struggle with anxiety to this day. I'm not gonna make any lies about that. When I met my partner, we started reproducing. No, we started having kids and things like that. But at 18, I experienced my first miscarriage. And throughout our 10-year relationship, I've had upwards of 10 miscarriages. I had a son that was stillborn. We've been through financial hardship. We have the kids screaming of just lost my train of thought. I've been through postnatal depression. But basically, to summarize all of that, I was just really, really unwell, both physically and mentally and emotionally. I had spent 10 years putting my trust and my faith into Western medicine in hopes that they could help me. There was a lot of pill prescribing and things like that. There was no real interest in what was actually going on. It was very face value. And for me, not to get off track and start talking about star signs, but I'm Scorpio. I'm as deep as the fucking ocean, guys. I like to know the depths and the core of everything. So Western medicine really was not suited to me, but it was what I grew up knowing. My family was
it's
not
so common for so many people.
So my family had full trust and faith in that system, and that's just what I was brought up to believe in. So I gave it a good hot crack and really got nowhere. So it kind of ended up there was a turning point. I had all of my kids. My anxiety was at an all-time high. So when I experienced my postnatal depression, which I did in different ways with each child, but my anxiety took a real different form when I had my kids. So mine was very health related. I actually got diagnosed as a hypochondriac at one point because I was experiencing all these physical things, but they were so made up from my mind, which now I know is exactly what happens. But yeah, so you know, my GP and things like that, they diagnosed me as a hypochondriac because I would come in. I've had every test, every thing. I've seen everyone under the sun that you could ever imagine. Because I was constantly so unwell and I just could never ever get these answers. You know, at points it was so severe that at some points it was so severe that like I would see a spider and my body would physically react as if it had been bitten. So our mind is so fucking powerful, guys. Yeah, but so in the end,
this is what led you to then take that step to go and have your first appointment with a kinesiologist.
Yeah, well, I was just not getting any answers. You know, I was having all the bloods, I was having all the scans, I was having like MRI, I was having my brain checked every 5 seconds. Can you stop, please? Hop out, Bubby. Go help get the boys. Go get the boys. Help you. And all these things were coming back fine, but I was still so unwell, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there has to be. I'm not living my life like this. Like I from day one, I have refused and I have fought to get better, because there's not a chance in hell I was ever continuing to live my life like that. So, you know, some people just kind of grin and bear it. I was the complete opposite. I was like, fucking hell no, is this my life? I'm not having a bar of this. So it actually was a Facebook ad, funnily enough, that popped up on Facebook or Instagram, one of the two, and it was for 30-minute free consults with a kinesiologist. At this stage I was like, how do you even say that? Like, I don't even know what that is. I had never heard of one. I didn't know how to say the word, so, and I kept kind of ignoring it because I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know how it can help me. It was actually marketed around headaches at that point. And after I had my daughter, my last child, I was experiencing like horrific headaches. I had actually had issues from having an epidural with her. So I had, hang on 1 second, guys. Just mum duty for a minute.
That's fine.
What do you want?
Here. What a mum, did we get it?
I don't know what you want. Addie Kirst, can you come and help your sister? Oh, well, can you go out there, please, and do it? Go on. Windsor, take it out there and do it, please.
Do it for Mum, Windsor.
Oh, I can't fix it. All right.
Yeah, so you went to your first appointment.
Went
to your first appointment.
Yeah, so I
Tell us about that.
So ended up booking the appointment with the kinesiologist, and within that half an hour, she pretty much had changed my entire life. From the second I walked out of there, I actually went in with a raging headache and I left without one. So I was kind of like, holy shit, what is this magic? I literally thought that it was some kind of like, wizardry. I didn't know what was going on, but I was like, I'm vibing it. This is awesome. Like, she has really done a good number on me. So and her name is Kathy, by the way. I don't know if anyone saw her, but she was actually on yesterday, was she?
Day before. And if you
the day before,
you can catch up on it on YouTube too. So.
Yeah. Her business is. Oh my God, this is a problem. Okay, you need to go. I can't help you. The internet isn't working, sweetheart. Far out.
It's a nightmare.
And it's a nightmare. And surely
no, it's okay.
The internet is not working in my house, so of course she wants bloody cocoa melon, and I can't get it. All right. You need to get the boys to help you. I can't help you. Go on.
So just to shorten that sort of period of time. So you went and saw Kathy, who is from Connecting Balance, and she was on the other day.
Yep.
Fell in love with her because she gave you such an insight to so many things that other people could not, like doctors, etc. And that is where you formed your love and your passion for kinesiology. So
yeah,
is...
so in that, go on. What were you gonna say?
No,
Oh,
I think it's
yeah,
delayed.
in that session, yeah, it is a little bit. In that session, we worked on such an emotional level, which it was kind of like the level that I needed to be worked on. Like, I had so much built up emotional stress and anxiety and issues that was where I needed to really be worked on. It wasn't like a physical thing for me. So I didn't go in there, even though I went in there with like an actual issue. I had these headaches and things. It was actually an emotional issue that it was manifesting as. So shortly after that, she actually ran a workshop on a weekend for a few hours, like a half day thing. And at the end of it, I was like, holy shit, this is me. Like, I need to do this. Like, I had to like just
I
get
found
in.
my calling.
Yeah. At the end of it, I was like, okay, give me the details of where you studied, like how I can go about it, give me everything. And that night, I actually went home and I had enrolled myself into the course. So, and like you would know, I have never made a decision that quick in my life. I procrastinate about everything. I overthink everything.
You talk yourself out
like,
of
I like to make sure I'm making the right decision about everything. But this was just like, wham bam, thank you ma'am, like, just let's start this shit. So
that's
yeah.
where you form the Natural Balancing Code. Now, what if I was to have a look into what the Natural Balancing Code is, what is the Natural Balancing Code?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I haven't been asked that before. I'm actually like really looking into my business right now and what I want it to represent. So initially I kind of just created it because I needed a name. I needed something to be able to start doing this work. But I kind of passed over all the really important parts, like what is actually the core of my business, like what do I actually want to represent, what do I want to be able to give to people. So I'm actually in that process at the moment, and basically the bottom line is I want to empower people to take their health back into their own hands. From my experience, I put it in other people's hands, and I kind of lost that power that I had once upon a time. So I want to really be able to educate people, and I really want them to be able to make those decisions and know that you can try and do different things. You don't have to try one single system, because if it isn't working for you, like, don't stick at it. Like, try something else. Kinesiology might not be your thing either, and that's totally okay. For a lot of people, it isn't. You know, I have people come in once and I never see them again, and that just is because it's not their thing. That's fine, but it's about finding your thing, and I want to give people that power back. I want to be able to help transform people, and I want to be able to help them shed those layers and find that core to what is really going on, which is why kinesiology is so amazing, because it looks at us as an entire it looks at us in our entirety. So it's not that face value that I was talking about before. It's not a sore arm, or a wound on your leg. It's like emotional, physical, structural, alchemical, nutritional, spiritual. It's like everything. So that's why I think I fell in love with it as well. And the other side of that is it's so science based too, which I really love, because like I love to know. I'm like truth seeker, information lover. Like, knowledge is power for me. So I really like to be able to have that foot to stand on with it as well, because it can come across as a really spiritual modality, but it's actually really science based too. So I like having the two to fall on, because I can kind of be like, tailor it to each person and what they kind of believe in. So that's
I love that.
what it's all about for me.
I love that. So recently you started doing readings, so this is going to come to the spiritual side of things. And what do you offer with your readings? So I feel like everyone needs to know about this. It's a fantastic time to get a reading. I've been sending you messages all morning of people messaging me saying, oh my God, I need to do this. And I'm saying, well, I'm going to screenshot it and send it to her. And then you got to hold yourself accountable.
So at the moment,
what your readings are about.
So at the moment, I'm unable to do like hands-on, physical, intimate, one-on-one work, obviously because of our self-isolation. So I'm not able to do kinesiology, but I'm offering intuitive oracle card readings. Oh my God, she's back.
I know, I saw it. I love that.
And basically, I'm doing this in a oh my God, you can probably hear all my kids. For those of you who don't know, I have three
everyone's
children.
In the same boat. Everyone's in the same boat, so don't worry about
it.
Oh my God, she's naked.
So yeah, at the moment I'm offering intuitive oracle card readings, and now I'm doing this in a written format. So for those of you that don't know me, I could very easily do this over the phone, even though now's not really like a fab time with all the kids, but I could do these over the phone. I can do them in person, but now I've really chosen to do it in a written format because I find sometimes my mouth and my intentions don't really meet. So putting pen to paper has always really been an easy way for me to express my words and my feelings and my thoughts properly. So that's why I've chosen to do it that way, aside from not having the time or space to chat to someone on the phone without screaming in the background.
But I think great.
Yeah. So I've decided to offer it at a really like low price too, because I know a lot of us are struggling and could use guidance in so many aspects of our life right now. Everyone's life has been turned upside down. So yeah, that's just something else that I wanted to be able to offer, because I can't offer other services right now. So I really wanted to be able to give people something that they can use. We're not having Play-Doh right now, staying home. But yeah, in terms
That's
of like yeah.
Oh, so with that, on the spiritual side,
oh my God,
you are venturing into making your own sacred sticks as well. Is that correct?
Hang on, I can't hear you. Yeah, all right, you need to calm your farm, girl. What? I don't know what you're saying. We're not having Play-Doh. If you want to sit here, you need to be quiet, okay? Sit down, please.
Come to
and
quiet.
This is Briar. Anyway, yeah, so I will be releasing a loose sage blend at some stage, hopefully soon. But with the spiritual aspect, so spirituality was not something that I was ever really brought up. Are you there? Or are you cutting out? I don't know if I should keep talking. Like, can people hear me? Can anyone?
Yeah, just keep talking.
Can anyone hear? Oh no, you're back. You're back. It's all right.
Yeah, keep talking.
Yeah. So yeah, like spirituality was never really spoken about in my home. I went to a Christian school, so as like spirituality growing up meant God. Even though I never really particularly vibed with it, that was what I was kind of brought up with in my schooling system. So, and within our home, like the word was probably never even mentioned. I would never have known what spirituality meant, and that there was different forms of it either. So it has been a real learning process since I have kind of been getting older, finding out what is my vibe, what I believe in. For me, it's the universe. Others, it's God. Some, it's Buddha. You know, whatever your jam is, that's totally cool. But yeah, this has. I think it really opened up when I met my partner when I was 18. Like spiritual stuff was kind of just like really out there on the table for everyone. It was quite often a conversation, and it was always so normal too. So that kind of showed me things that I had been experiencing through my entire life, but just never even really understood or put, you know, okay, I need to get rid of this child. Just 1 second. I'm going to be back.
All right.
I'll be back in a second.
Does anyone watching, sorry guys, I'm sure if you have children you can totally relate, but if anybody is watching and you have any questions for Ash, shoot them through at the bottom in the comments and I'll get her to answer them when she comes back. She should be back in a second, but this is the perks of life, I guess, when you have 3 children. Let me go through and see.
All right, I'm back.
All right.
Oh, God. What a
Rock and roll.
nightmare.
Oh, you can't, like you can do anything, is it, you know?
I'm
But
so
everyone's
puffed
in the
out.
zone.
I'm puffed out now. Anyway, so, yes, back on the spirituality train. Oh my God, this is a joke.
Don't worry, I can edit this out. Straight.
One second.
Oh, Pen, you're so beautiful. Does anyone have any questions for me while she's gone, and I'll answer them?
Okay, I've literally locked them in the other room.
So tell us about your sage blends.
Yes, well, my sage blends. Yeah, so basically smudging has been something that has been really present in my life, especially of late, but for a long time. Anyway, and I wanted to bring that up and speak to you. Sorry, I'm like really puffed now. Yeah, so I decided that I'm going to create something that, one, I use in my own home, and two, I think can be really helpful for others. There is a lot floating around. You can get sage sticks and all that kind of stuff. But I just really wanted to create something that I love that I can offer people too. But basically with smudging, it's a technique that has been around for a really, really long time. So I have to get my breath back. And pretty much it's a really good way to cut through any negative energy. And how that relates to now is we're experiencing a lot of that negative energy. You know, we've got stress, anxiety, fear, you know, like just all these things. And what it actually does is it makes us produce positive ions, and they kind of like float out into the air and cause like this stagnant feeling in the air. And cleansing or smudging with sage, and there is some other like really amazing beautiful herbs that you can use too, but white sage is the most well known. This actually cuts through that positive ions in the air and is able to bring back that flow. So quite often, like, you can feel this as well. You know, if people have had an argument and you walk into the room and it kind of like you can feel that tension in the air. Like, this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about these positive ions. So smudging can really cleanse and bring back that peaceful balance in the air. It actually as well can reduce up to 93 or 94% of bacteria in the air too. So when we're dealing with which is amazing, and not a lot of people know. So they think it's like this quite spiritual, witchy thing, which it is amazing. Love it. But it's also, like you said, a really science-based thing too. So, yeah, like, I've lost my train of thought again, guys. Told you, brain fart.
Fine.
Fucking kids. But so yeah, and when we're dealing with a virus, for example, hope you're screen recording this so we don't get deleted again. That is actually airborne when we are sneezing and coughing and things. So bring in like a tool, like a smudge stick or a smudge blend is really awesome to cut through that bacteria that can be floating around in the air. All right, so Kayla, how often would you recommend smudging? Like, I honestly, I do it most days, but I do it most days personally because I pick up and carry a lot of other people's baggage around with me. So,
and you also smudge your children, you smudge your crystals as well. You do the whole
yeah. So you can do it based on how you're feeling and how your room is feeling. Like, if you you will notice the difference instantly after you smudge your house. Like, it's like this weight has been lifted off. It's incredible.
Oh, you sleep so much better too.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, do it every couple of days. Right now, with the virus, for example, and coming into those colder months when we are experiencing more colds and flus and all that kind of thing, I'd maybe like ramp it up to a couple of times a week, for example. But it honestly is, I base it off how I'm feeling. So if I feel like I have to do it every day, or if I kind of feel like I'm like a little angrier than usual, or a little bit more tense than usual, or the kids are behaving like assholes, I will be like, oh fuck, I need
going to be a lot lately.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll be like,
All right,
oh shit, I need to cleanse.
We've got another question from Sarah.
Okay, yeah. So like I said earlier, there's a lot of different ways and different herbs and things and woods that you can use. So Palo Santo is really, really nice. I find it's a lighter cleanse.
I'm not a fan of the Palo Santo myself.
Yeah. So I love it, and I feel like it's really awesome to use when you're oh God, how do you explain it? What's the word? It'll come to me. But cleansing with sage, it's like a really deep cleanse. Like, you know, when you do your washing and you're like, fuck, these are dirty. They need a real deep cycle. That's what that's what like a sage blend is going to do for you. Whereas a Palo Santo is like a 30-minute wash. I'm losing my voice.
I love that explanation. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so given this time, you sort of saying let's ramp up the saging a bit more. Do it a bit more.
Yeah,
often.
I would ramp it up.
Home, there's a lot more conflict. There's a lot more going on, but it also has a bit of an antibacterial sort of.
Yes,
well.
Definitely. Yeah, so I definitely try to do it. Huh? What were you going to say?
No, continue.
Oh, yeah, so I would definitely try and do it maybe 2 to 3 times a week. I usually do ramp it up myself anyway in the winter months, just so we are killing off any of that bacteria that could be like just waiting to get us sick. So, awesome way to do it. But Palo Santo is really good to do too. So, Sarah, you can do that. I don't know what contradictions you've heard. If you can let me know that or message me afterwards and we can chat about that, that's totally cool. But yeah, like, you know, things like rosemary as well. Rosemary is really cool to use. And if you bake it, it actually helps reduce EMF radiation in your home too. So you can like bake it for a little bit and go and like put it around your house too. So that actually absorbs negative energy as well. So that's another cool one, because you can get that really cheap from your supermarket or your bloody herb garden, wherever you want to get it. Yeah. So Anyway, was there anything else that you wanted me to say about that? Have I mentioned it all?
No. Was there anything else you can sort of suggest at the moment to sort of calm our anxiety? A lot of my followers have come from a DV situation and do suffer from anxiety. What else can we do to sort of calm that anxiety throughout the day?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things I'll go over. One, I'll go over grounding, and then next I'll go over breathing.
Okay.
So, firstly, grounding. Such a simple thing, guys. Like, how easy is it to take your shoes and socks off and put your feet on the ground? Like, so bloody simple. But we don't do enough of it. Like, we constantly have that barrier between us and the earth. So grounding is an incredible technique to actually, 1, help our immune system, and 2, help our anxiety, our fatigue, that feeling of being burnt out. And what it actually does when we have that direct contact with the ground and the earth, it balances out our electron. We actually receive electrons from the earth. So, and when these are out of balance, we can kind of feel a little bit flighty, a bit anxious. We can get stressed. Hang on one sec. I've just got something going off over here. Oh, God. Oh. And the easiest way to get these electrons is from that direct contact with the earth. So that's another really awesome thing to do. And last time we did the live, I gave an example of when I had to do it. Like, I do this most days, but when I had a particular scenario where I went and had what do you call it? Like, I had a thing done, and it was Okay, we're telling people exactly what it was. All right, so I had this. I had this.
Put right in the shit there. Just put right in it.
That cavitated. Basically, what the technique was emptying out your fat cells through your lymphatic system, but it was like really high electrical pulses to do it. I don't know why I do these things to myself, because I know it's always going to be bad. I'm really, really sensitive to this kind of thing. But afterwards, it felt like every nerve in my body was on fire, and I just could not get a hold of my shit. I was losing my mind. I was so unwell. I felt like I was just buzzing, just being electrocuted nonstop. And I remember I rang you and I was like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. Because I just lose my mind in these moments sometimes. And you're like, go and get on the ground. So I literally
get your shoes off and walk on the ground.
Yeah. I literally spent 2 hours pacing up and down my grass in the backyard to rebalance myself and reground myself. And it was one, it was instant. And because I had this procedure went on for I don't know, over half an hour. So it was going to take quite a little bit of time to get me back to normal, but it was incredible. And I had always really believed in it, but I had never experienced it on such an incredible level. So that kind of solidified for me how detrimental that this can be to our immune system and our health and how our body feels and our nervous system. So that's a really easy way that you can go and just get outside, the fresh air, just fresh air alone, and vitamin D. Even though there's not a lot of sun at the moment, it's still there. We're still receiving that vitamin D. So even if it's cloudy, get outside, get your feet on the ground. Coming into these winter months,
get your feet on the ground. Take your shoes, take your socks off.
Lay your whole body. I don't know, whatever you want to do.
Lay your whole body on the ground. I find sometimes too at night time, I tend to get a bit of ramped up anxiety myself.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And literally, I'll go outside, walk around for even if it's 2 minutes with no shoes on.
Oh yeah, you can do it 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 hours, whatever you want to do. Just and do it multiple times a day if you have to. There's this book that I was reading. I read it a while ago, so the information isn't fresh in my mind, but it's called the biophilia effect for anyone that's interested. Basically, the entirety of the book was about how nature can help heal us. In Japan, they actually write prescriptions for people to go and ground and be out in nature. So how amazing is that? I think that's so fucking cool, and we should be doing that here. I want a prescription for that. That's what I want.
Well, actually, after that, can you please? We will put that book in our story.
It's incredible.
That up.
It was actually I'm really, really connected with Mother Earth and stuff. So let's get a little bit woohoo here for a minute.
Oh, you heard the thunder and you go, yeah, can't you hear the thunder? I was like, what? I can't hear the thunder. And then 5 minutes later, I was like, oh yeah, there it is.
So I am really, really in tune with what's happening with the earth. So yeah, that, for example, I can hear thunder before it's actually coming. And, globally and as a collective, I pick up on what the world is experiencing. So when this coronavirus shit hit, I had actually been feeling the effects of what everyone was going to experience before it even happened. So I still have got a lot of throat stuff going on. It has calmed down, and it has calmed down as the collective has been calming down. But yeah, so I'm really in tune with how Mother Nature's feeling and all that sort of stuff. And that's kind of my niche when it comes to me being an empath and things like that. That's what I really experience. But now, where was I going with that? I've forgotten now.
How you're in tune with the earth.
Oh no, I was gonna say about this book. I'm just banging on about this book again. When I picked it up, I hadn't read anything, but I picked it up and I actually cried because I was like, this book is going to be so incredible. It's honestly such a beautiful book. It's a really easy read, but you find this, I'll post a picture of it.
We'll post it and we can have a look. Yep, I love it.
Yeah, for anyone that's looking for something to read right now.
Yeah, I definitely need something to read. We've got 3 methods of calming our anxiety and just calming it all together because it's such a stressful high time at the moment. what can we find on your page over at the Natural Balance and Co?
Well, not a whole lot. I mean, I don't know. At the moment, I feel like
not a whole lot.
At the moment, I feel like I'm really like in deep with my oracle readings. I probably haven't been sharing as much. I mean, I do post things but information wise, I kind of have actually dropped off because I'm finding it really difficult to be able to share my knowledge from a place of like love and light rather than anger and potentially fear, which when I do
you
that,
have been experiencing a lot lately.
Yeah. So when I speak from those feelings, it's not received as well. So I have kind of taken a step back. But yeah, I am like open to chatting to anyone. Like I will chat to anyone about anything. If you are having issues, like come at me. I do post information I post stuff that I see in my stories and things like that. But yeah, at the moment there probably is a bit of a lack of information just because I'm trying not to put any more bad feelings out there because I am a little, I'm not going to say hostile, but I'm a little angry about certain things that are going on at the moment. But aside from that though, I did want to talk about like our breathing and then our ESR technique that we went over last time.
Yeah.
So there's obviously so much anxiety right now and stress and just fear and like not knowing what the fuck is going to be happening next. Yeah. So when this happens, our breathing can become like really erratic, right? So we actually end up chest breathing or shallow breathing. What this does actually ramps up like our oh my god, this keeps happening. Why is my brain
anxiety in a bit of a panic, doesn't it? When you the fast breathing almost tells your brain, okay, you're in a panic state.
Yeah, it increases our heart rate and our blood flow, and then our body's like, holy shit, like I'm being chased by a tiger. You know, it triggers our fight and flight response. So it's really crucial that when we are taking note of how we are breathing, and I'm like horrific for this. Like I trigger my own anxiety by this shallow breathing alone. So if you can really take note and tune in and just not even tune in, just continue to check in with how you're breathing, that is going to like probably change your life. I've been having to do a lot of this lately, and I'll just be like sitting there like, oh, I don't feel too good. I'm feeling a little bit, because it can make you feel lightheaded. It affects the oxygen that we're receiving into our bodies. So you can get lightheaded. You can feel fatigued, dehydrated, anxious, stressed feelings, all those kind of like flighty, shitty feelings. So if you can just check in with yourself, and if you feel like you are breathing from your chest, just take a minute and actually breathe from your diaphragm. So it feels bizarre when you first do it, especially if you are a chest breather. But if you breathe in through your nose, and as you're breathing in through your nose, pushing out your stomach, this is the diaphragm breathing that I'm talking about. So you breathe in your nose, push out your stomach at the same time, and then when you release that breath, bringing in your stomach. So, and doing this 8 times can actually put us into rest and digest mode. So it takes us out of that fight and flight, and it actually triggers our rest and digest. So, and if you think about it, when you're breathing like this, you can experience things like insomnia. I know my digestion just completely stops when I have any of these feelings and I'm breathing this way. So just by doing those diaphragm breaths, and just 8 of them can completely switch our nervous system. And this is the only part in our nervous system that we actually have control over, which is really, really awesome. So you can find more information about that online, and they use this method of breathing in yoga and stuff like that quite often, and meditations. So yeah, that is another option as well. And aside from that, I want to just go over a kinesiology technique. It's called ESR, or emotional stress release. And basically
we have to be quite quick with this one because we're going to get cut off in about 5 minutes.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. Okay, basically it's simple, easy, quick. You bang your hand on the front of your forehead and at the back of your neck. our back brain is our emotional stress brain, basically, to put it simply. Our front brain is our logical, creative brain. When we do, you can actually do it with just your hands on your head, and there's actually 2 spots on your forehead that are kind of more prominent than each other. They kind of feel like a little hump on either side. But basically, what this does is it encourages blood flow to the front of our brain, to our more logical and creative brain. When we are in our stress response, it's coming from from the back of our brain. So in doing this, we're actually encouraging that blood flow, that frontal lobe to switch on and be like, okay, let's come up with a new way of how we can deal with this. Let's come up with a new way of what we can do to kind of think clearer, think more logically. It's really awesome for headaches too, because more often than not, when we get headaches, they are actually a stress response. So by putting this, like, you can either do it with these 2 fingers and your thumb, which creates a what's the word, Amanda? A neutral effect. That's it. Oh, I'm really good having issues.
Don't ask me.
Having a neutral effect, and you can put it on those 2 prominent spots on your forehead, or otherwise you can literally just bang it on there, and you can do this for as long as or short amount of time as you need. But
and
what
on
it
your
does,
children saying too last
pardon?
time.
And do it with your kids. So I do this with my kids when they hurt themselves, because it brings them out of that emotional response so much quicker. And then, you know, if they're having a tantrum and things like that, because these are all, when the kids are, and even us, when we're experiencing these things, that's all from our back emotional brain. They are an emotional response to something that has triggered us. So we can put our hands on the front of our head and actually bring our brain back into our logical, more creative mind, then we don't have the same response. We can come up with new ways to react to things, kind of, you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it's really, really awesome. It's so simple. You can do this when you have headaches, like I said, do it with your kids. Yeah, it's really, really calming. So, yeah, I use it. It's awesome for anxiety as well. So you don't even really need to be, like, if you start to feel yourself getting a little anxious or a little stressed out, like, pop these on. It's so simple. And just hold it there for as long as you feel like you need, until you just kind of, I find my mind ends up kind of wandering away from what I was initially doing it for. So yeah, I'll be like thinking about what's for dinner rather than thinking, you know, why I'm stressed. So that's a really good indication that, like, you've helped it pass.
Well,
yeah,
that is really good insight to so many things that we can do, not only in this time now that we're in, but also take it into the future with us as well. Whenever, you know, an obstacle might come into our lives, or a stressful time for a lot of followers who are suffering from anxiety. Thank you so much for coming on here. It's such
no
a
worries.
But we're going to get cut
I
off.
hope you saved it, because if this deletes again, I'm going to be mad.
No, but and it's also going to be, for anybody who has missed it, it will be on the House of Hearts YouTube channel, so you can rewatch it. You can come and take notes with what Ash said, but also we can find tons of information over at the Natural Balance & Co Instagram. It's a beautiful page too. It's full of beautiful content as well. No, just fine.
Yes, I'm very I'm all about the aesthetics, guys, so you'll find a pretty page.
But you're very open. You're open to anybody sending any private messages that wants information. You are so open to helping anybody you can. So I really appreciate you coming on here. And yes, it will be saved. Fingers crossed don't get deleted again.
No.
There has been a lot of people being deleted, apparently. I think I sent you a few people who have been deleted. So it's heavily watched at the moment. You are personally heavily watched by a lot of people.
Yeah. Yes, I have a lot of... Pardon?
Just because you tell it straight up how it is.
I'm very honest, and I'm very honest, and I share. I'm very...
You share what's real.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I am like hardcore truth seeker, and I have the ability to see through the bullshit. So Instagram doesn't really like that. But so quite often or not, I'll post things and they won't even make it for anyone to be seen. So that's kind of annoying. But anyway.
All right. So if anybody has any questions for Ash, you can jump over to the Natural Balance & Co. And she will answer any questions you have. If you want to catch up or recap on anything we have discussed, you can jump over to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, my beautiful best friend.
Thank you, guys.
Today.
Bye.